What have you just read about Youth Renegades? You had made all the way through reading this 10 chapter, the 10 drabbles, they, as you want to call it, of this Cyber AU Voltron fanfic called Young Renegades. And it's off from the album Young Renegades. No, Last Young Renegade by All Time Low. Listening to that album, go go listen that on, and also listen to their newest album called Wake Up Sunshine. There's a lot of good ones too. So yes, back to the story. And this is a story where in a cyberpunk, you have an upper level and a lower level of the city, and there's a lot of crazy wild ass adventures where you can see involves with the paladins, as they call it. They're like the gang members. As you would like to think of. So okay, so because at the very beginning, it is a colorful cyberpunk future. That's just a beautiful place. It's just buildings. There's some advertisements. They're all made in kanji, as you would like to think of it. I saw the last Yarny Gate. If you think of it, if you would think of it as Keith, yes, because Keith started all of this one, just riding himself. No, riding himself a bike. Well, he rode a bike at that time, and then you have the other guys like Lance, Pidge, and Honk start out this adventure. And the relationship between Key and Lance is like, okay, it's time, for themselves to dare. You want a challenge? I think, yeah, that's probably like a challenging ones. Later on towards the story, Keith have not realized where this is going because it did the Paladins. Not calling themselves the Blades because the Blade of Mamora, that's where he's drawing the line towards it. But he did not experiencing what this Crest's whole company, and that's like the Paladins of Voltron. You're in Voltron. And they have like a routers, have a levels and levels of floors. They're like they're like some dances, there's some drinks involved. And you wanna smoke some? You wanna hit? Don't do that. So yeah, he found himself a Voltron. It is a club within the Paladin's territory. See Lance. Lance is a member of it. And Lance already knew that he want Kate to be in the VIP of the club, the Voltron. And there's a lot of things to experience when in it. So that's a bar, but a club. It's a club membership. It's some sort of a special club where you can support all the Voltrons, support all those paladins, as you would like to call it. You read carefully to the songs of. If you read carefully to this story, there is always going to be lyrics. There will be a lyrics for each song, well, each track, as they call it, as I would call it. There will be each tract on that chapter. There will be some lyrics hidden to it. And they're especially involved with the Galra Quint, as they would call it, because that's what they're working for. They wanted to collect a Galra Quint, as you have you need a quintessentials. I don't, I don't. Is that what they call it? Is a quintessentials or something? Quintessence or quintessentials. It's quintessence, I guess, but I don't know. I don't remember what I'm calling it, but they have this quint run. I think that's where. Ooh, guess I'm getting high when I'm taking a hit. And yeah, but it's gonna hit, I mean. And then found themselves a good times, yeah. Themselves remembering all these memory. I think it's a memories or something. And feel all this different kinds of perspective. Everything around between them, their drugs. And Keith and Lance have this own relationship. They got something what they need for their drugs and their candy. And then what they didn't have realized that they're missing Shiro. Because Shiro was in there. And just so you guys know, before you're freaking out on me talking about the, oh, Shiro is stuck at the garrison and whatnot. No, he was stuck at the Empire. They have to go to the Empire and get rescued with. So Keen has to go to the Empire. That's where Shiro had held hostage there, and he was the experiment. But calling themselves the champion. So that's where he was at. And yeah, Lance had to follow their lead and get it all out. Alright, because in the rest of the video, that's just me being stupid. So, enjoy the rest of the video, I suppose. Hopefully I have another note come. The blade? I no idea where it comes because I think it's like the garrison because he got stuck where Cheryl. Cheryl was crazy that there are aliens out there and they have to believe him. And that's where exactly how they had to find them. To find him. And it's up to Keith, Lance, Pigeon, Hunk to find Shiro. But first, Keith, well, Lance hadn't responded to Keith. Keith hadn't responded to Lance like, what is going on? What's up with that? What's wrong with it? Well, what's wrong with you? And then it was saying, nice. And then we go along to nice to know you. Okay, this is gonna be the last time that we are doing this. And I remembered this one. That, okay, do we never doing this? We will doing this. And this will be the last time that we are doing it. Push it out all the way and move on. And then becomes life of the party. That's Lance's description. Because Lance is always be the life of the party. He likes having fun. To be all around in the club. I know he's a blue panther and all, but unfortunately, he hasn't contact with Keith in a long time. It's like, what's up, Keith? You haven't contacted me. I think I think he's in trouble or something. Now he knew what was happening. Where's Keith and where did it go? And now they finally found him when we're Pidge, Hunk, Shay, and Matt and Laura. They knew like, okay, where's Keith? And Pidge already knew where to find Keith because she attached the tracker where his bike is, and that's where that location. That's where he located. So yes, because Keith already knew Keith has to find Shiro all by himself, just like Lance has to find Keith all by himself. Well, in the beginning, it's been like everybody know where's Keith, and now Lance has to find Keith all by himself. But in the Paladins say they can't do that. They have to work together to find Keith. Because I don't know what Keith's going on. I think Keith is on his mission. His own mission is to, well, for Lance's mission to Pidge and Hunk, their mission is to find Keith and what he's doing. And then now Keith have been to this garrison. That's where, alright, and now finally got caught, and that didn't go so well. Anyway, and now they have finally found Keith, and then they have to escape this thing. Maybe have to escape the garrison. But first, Keith has still had to finish his mission. Okay, I think what I meant to say is that they had to go to the Empire and find Keith and rescue Shiro. For the mission part, when I said garrison, I meant to say the Empire. Okay, so sorry about that. But first, it's Keith. It was Keith's birthday. That's October 23rd. If you ask a fan of Voltron, because they already know what they're doing. Okay, now let's get back into the story, and that is where all the memories that okay, you're being part of the club, and that's where everything's been no kind of drizzle up. Moving on forward, they have this kind of action thing. If you already know what a cyberpunk AU would look like, and if you search Voltron cyberpunk AU, you'll only see like Lance and Keith doing their own thing in the AU world. No, in the cyberpunk AU world. Finally got themselves where they going, and they got Shiro. They found Shiro. He was attached himself, and he lost his arm. He has a white hair. That was the season 6 or 7, I think. And he lost his arm. I think he must have wear a prosthetics in his prosthetic arm. And then yep, they're trying to escape, and they escape all the prisoners, everything, because that's key in pitch. They have to escape everything, and now they found Shiro. Yeah, but Kate had forgot one more person, and that was Lance, because Lance had trapped there because they're trying to protect them from their escaping to whatever the place. It could be the garrison, or it could be the blade. That's all there's to it. It's just a big chance lifetime, and now that everybody, now that all of them have been rescued from that incident, now they're finally back to the club. They're finally back to Voltron, and all of them is all, and then everything's been wrapped up. It was all good and all, and now they're wrapped up and they're finally coming back together after the rescue mission. Everything they have to set up from what they have changed from, oh my goodness, Shiro is missing. Where can I find it? And where's Keith? And now they have been finally rescued. We're going back to Voltron and we start partying. But they have some things to change before they're gonna move on and get it all out. Around, they're working around the clock. They tried to protect the lower city and the upper city from this world, okay, from the cyberpunk world. If you've seen the relationship between Shiro and Keith, it's the same thing. It's between Shiro and Keith because they're like the brother to them. No, this the friend. It was his friend. They had to rescue his friend. Keith has to rescue his boyfriend. That's would have been sending ourselves to hell and see just get everything done. That's pretty much it. That's the review. So all that's all the information that I got, and I have nothing else to think of. And at the end they have like Key and Lance just how am I gonna say this? You already know what they're doing. Yes, they're just doing the deed. They'll have to see what's going to be the future of the garrison and the blade or something, because We have to protect the Empire. We have to prevent themselves for the Empire. Because the Empire are just they're just taking over. And we have to prevent them from, doing some illegal stuff. Because this is remember, this is a cyberpunk. This is like a more of a club or a gangster or some. They're not they're not probably calling us a gang, but it looks like it, but it's some sort of like it, sort of, but it's not that. But I don't know. That's just I only think of it. And now they finally get this under control, and Voltron is now coming again. Again with all of the characters they've been through. Okay, guys, that is the story of the crazy story that I have read. They're all 10 travels. 10 travels. It's called Young Renegades. And yes, thank you guys so much for reading the whole thing. If you stick this to the end and know what why I feel about it. Okay, first impressions about the story. And I think she done it very well. She done it put the songs into some sort of story, making the songs and thinking the accompanying that song. And there's all lyrics to it. It's just oof that gave me goosebumps. That gave me some chills and frills because All Time Low and Voltron all mixed up, and that chemistry of it was very nice. And oh yeah, I forget to mention that there will be no more vampire shift for this, because I won't be reading something again. And for those who don't know that one, because I mentioned those two songs that she did not add. There are two songs called Chemistry and Vampire Shift, and I made them the sentences. So we gotta keep an eye on that. Alright, now that's enough about it. But if you want me to recommend this book, I would say sure, read that book. Man, read that story. Man, the travels are really good, and it just cleared it out. It just cleared itself out. Okay, guys, that is the end of anything of this story. Yeah, thank you guys so much. But there will be more stories to come, so gotta stay tuned. There'll be lots of stories to make. Could be Voltron, could be another thing for Voltron, or it could be another story that I would just be applying this again. So, okay, that's enough about it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.